Freshtopia at the bot house. We're under attack. We're under attack by flies. And there's nothing we can do. They're more numerous. Their eyes have more facets, they have more legs, and they can fly. I don't know how I'm supposed to fight these things. It makes me want to kill myself. But then they'd win, and they'd just lay their eggs in my corpse. So I'm here on the couch today, and we're just going to have a little talk. Just you, me, all these flies. This is going to be a very special episode of Freshtopiya. So, I'm sure most of you have heard about this Twitter thing by now. I'm something of a late adapter in situations like this, I suppose, but I finally got on it, and so I'm getting Twitters, I'm getting those little 140 word or less messages from people that I'm into about what they're doing, what are they doing, and what everybody is doing these days, or today, or recently I guess, is talking about the iPhone. Everyone's like, iPhone, 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 iPhone. In fact, there's entire messages that are just the word iPhone over and over and over again. People are pretty much split down the middle in terms of how excited they are about the release of this particular product. Some people are, first in line waiting for it, like Robert Scoble, and very proud of the fact because they're into it. Other people, not so much, and they're perhaps a little bit more contemptuous or just, not as stoked about the whole iPhone thing. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm, not quite on that train yet, so I'm interested in it, but I'm probably not going to get one right away. Although, if I could, I would definitely be using the feature that I've read that it provides, which is the pre-made kind of Mad Lib style phrase, I'm in your blank, blanking your blank, which, in case you are not familiar with it, comes from the whole kind of Lolcat phenomenon. And to learn more about that, you can check out lolcat.com or I Can Has Cheezburger. Beautiful websites, full of pictures of cats, and bunnies, and hamsters, and walruses with buckets. I've wasted many happy hours at the various Lolcat-related sites. It's really to me, it's a big part of what the internet is for, which is seeing pictures of cats. Sometimes with adorable, practically unintelligible captions in all capital letters. I like that. As if Lolcats wasn't weird enough, it has inspired its own language, Kitta. Kitta is a kind of mashup of the abbreviations common in texting, common misspellings when you have English as a second language, and super duper amped up cutesy spellings of common words. Things like gimme, oh hi, and okay thanks bye. And if that wasn't weird enough, Lolcats has inspired its own computer language, Lolcode. Lolcode started off as something of an experiment, and an enthusiastic community has sprung up around it. Several applications have been written in Lolcode, which reads like the language of Lolcats, Kitte. The Lolcat language is a perhaps unfortunate but totally inevitable evolution of our written language. It's a beautiful thing. Speaking of cats, I'm now the somewhat embarrassed companion person of an overweight cat. One of my cats, Bebel, a calico, who is absolutely adorable, has put on a little bit of the pounds as of late. There's different factors that contributed to the situation, different people feeding her, lots of confusion in the house with the moving and different situations that happened. And when you're under stress, many people, and apparently my cat, turn to food for comfort. In the past, both of my cats, George and Bebel, were also raw foodists. This kind of came about because George, the boy, had been having some pretty serious health problems. He was very sick. He was emaciated. His fur was just not as glossy and pretty as it once was, and I started to get concerned. So I took him to the vet. They do a bunch of tests, and they eventually ended up x-raying him and discovering that the contents of his stomach included most of a rubber glove, a condom, and various other indigestible minutiae. So that was taken care of. He managed to kind of get that stuff out, and he was still having digestive problems and still losing weight, still being sick, and eventually the vets had suggested that the only solution to this problem was going to be to do an exploratory surgery on the cat, which would cost thousands and thousands of dollars. At this point, I was like, can I really pay these well-intentioned, ultimately good individuals to probably kill my cat? So I started to look into other options. And what I came across was that a raw diet of all meat is something that is very beneficial and, of course, natural for cats. So, not kind of really knowing what I was doing, I just started feeding him and his sister, Bebel, raw turkey, raw chicken, different raw meats. I was kind of changing it up. I loved them so much that I was chopping up the organs for a minute. It was bad. I'm not going there anymore. I can't. But the interesting thing was, his problems cleared up, and these things hadn't gone away even with a series of different special pre-packaged foods that the vet had recommended. Different dry food, different wet food, always in a can or in a bag, and none of this stuff seemed to help him. The only thing that turned him around, and I think basically saved his life, was an all-raw diet. So Georges and Bebel were raw foodist cats for a period of time. So, if your beloved companion animal is having some kind of health problem, you might want to consider trying an all-raw diet. It really helped my cats a lot, and it might help yours as well.